Good morning. Well, it's good morning for me. Good afternoon if you're in the East Coast time zone or the on the other side of the country. I know some of us might still be morning. But welcome, you guys. We're so excited to share with you in this Wellness Reimagined Zoom that we're going to talk to you about some great technology that we have all come upon that has been changing lives. It's pretty incredible. So just so you know, my name is Leah Stastny. I am actually a senior presidential director with LifeWave as the company, and I have been with them for over 4 years and travel across the country and around the world to share this technology with people. But we love most getting on Zoom because we can share with a lot more people and it can be a lot more intimate when we get going on all the information that we're going to talk about today. So with that, I want to share with you guys information about a patch that is a wearable light therapy technology. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's about the size of a quarter. And I'm going to peel the backing off so you can see. Now, when we think of a patch, you might have used some kind of patch before. Maybe a pain patch or, I don't know, an estrogen patch, a nicotine patch, or there's actually something on the patch that's going to transfer through your skin, whether it's a medicine, a tincture, a chemical that transfers through your skin and gets into your blood. That's called a transdermal patch. This patch does not do that. This is a non-transdermal patch. And the way that this patch works is you can see there's a little white piece of fabric in the middle of it. It's shiny on this side, it's sticky on the other side. But that little white piece of fabric, the way that it works, the owner and inventor of our company, David Schmidt, the CEO, the visionary, the scientist behind this technology, David has figured out a way to create this phototherapy patch, this light therapy technology that you actually wear. And what he has done, he has created a solution of organic amino acids, oxygen, sugar. It crystallizes. It's a molecular structure and it crystallizes and he embeds it in the middle of this little piece of fabric and it's now reflective. So here's what happens when we put this patch on our body. Our bodies emit low levels of infrared light. Now we know this because if we were to ever look through night vision goggles, we would see all the colors radiating out off of our body. And there's a very specific wavelength of our body's light that reflects a signal off the center of the patch back into our body, starting a chain reaction of cells to start communicating. Now, what it does specifically, what it's actually elevating in our body is our copper peptide that our body makes called GHKCu copper peptide. And this copper peptide is already in our body. We actually make it. It's our body's master repair system. It's going to help with so many things. And I recommend that you put GHKCu copper peptide into PubMed and research what all the benefits are of GHKCu copper peptide. One of the things that I forgot to mention, Susan, was before I go any further on this copper peptide, is if you are a guest on today and hearing about this technology, please put your name in the chat because at the end of the call, we're going to have a drawing for some patches for our guests. So you'll want to put your first name and last name in the chat and along with the person that invited you. If for some reason we need to get your address or we don't get your address in time before we end the call, we want to reach out to the person that invited you to get your address so that we can get these in the mail to you this afternoon. So back to GHKCu copper peptide. Again, research it. One of the things that it does, it helps with tissue and wound healing. It's going to speed up the healing of skin, muscles, nerves, any organs. Skin rejuvenation. It's going to increase collagen and elastin in the body. It's going to improve skin firmness. It's going to reduce the lines and the wrinkles. There's also anti-inflammatory effects that GHK copper peptide does. It is going to help calm chronic inflammation. It's going to, Susan and I were just talking about hair growth support. huge benefits in that, as well as immune and an antioxidant boost. GHK is so important in protecting our tissues and organs. And then we see a lot of great cognitive and neurological vascular benefits with GHKCu as well. So one of the most important things about GHKCu copper peptide, so we're going to put it on, okay? We're going to start elevating that copper peptide. We're going to start immediately resetting 4,000 genes to a more youthful state. But one of the things that the copper peptide does, which is where the amazing healing starts happening in our body, is it's going to help support stem cell activation in our body. So this copper peptide actually signals our bodies to turn on our stem cells. Now, our stem cells are there. They're in our body. They just go dormant as we age. We know that at age 35 was middle-aged for all of us. 50% of our stem cells are no longer working. They're dormant in our body, meaning our body's only healing and repairing at 50%. And then when you get to the age of 60, 65, which I'll be 60 in just a few months, you only have about 8 to 10% of your body's stem cells still present in the blood trying to heal and repair. So the benefits of elevating those stem cells is massive in the body, because what we know about stem cells are they are the only cell in our body that can heal, repair, and rejuvenate any cell, any tissue, any organ, anything that our bodies need to repair itself. So we're going to put this patch on. We're going to elevate that GHK, get those stem cells, start waking up those stem cells. We're going to do that for 12 hours a day. At the end of the day, we're going to take that patch off and throw it away. And then we're going to do it again the next day. And we're going to continue to do this. We are seeing a compounding effect over time by activating stem cells, turning that signal off at night. And you guys, I love to talk about when we take this patch off at night, our body goes into repair and regeneration, right? We need to be getting good sleep. And that's one of the things that you'll find that you will, over time, start getting a really good night's sleep by having those copper peptides activated, as well as getting those stem cells going again. So that compounding effect, we see that at about the 6-week mark, and this is in our clinical studies. We have over 90 clinical studies, and these are clinical studies done by third-party doctors and institutions around the globe. They are double-blind placebo studies, peer-reviewed, some published studies that you actually have access to look at if that's your jam. All of them are about 27 to 29 pages long, but you can see the different doctors that have reviewed the technology over the course of 20 years. That's how long our company has been in existence, for 20 years. But look at those clinical studies. But at about that 6-week mark, people start to notice something. Now, what are some of the typical health benefits people see? They're getting, once again, a good night's sleep. They have more energy. They don't need that afternoon cup of coffee or that nap. It's a clean, sustained cellular energy. There is pain reduction as well. We see that all the time. So again, at about that 3 to 6 week mark, that's what our clinical studies are showing. Now, do we have people in the One Patch Wonder? We absolutely do. And we love those because it doesn't happen that way for everyone. Everyone is different. And that's one of the things that we really want everyone to understand is my body is different from Kimberly's body, who's different from Nancy's body. We all live different lifestyles. We all put different things in our body. So everyone's body was designed to heal and repair. And that's what we're talking about, just giving it the tools that it needs for that cellular regeneration. Now, one of the clinical studies I always like to talk about is age reversal. David Schmidt did a study with 15 people in his lab and took all of their biomarkers and sent them home to patch with the X39, that's the name of this patch that we're talking about, for 6 months. And at that 6-month mark, they saw a reverse in cellular age 8 years. for that 6 months that people were patching with this technology. So we're not only talking about GHK stopping the aging process, we're actually talking about it turning back the hands of time and getting our bodies functioning like they did when we were younger. And who doesn't want that? I think that's why we're all here. We want to be here and be healthy. And again, giving our body the right tools to do that is so important. So before I go, I've got a couple people that are going to share their testimonials. But before I do, there's a couple of questions people always ask is, will it help with XYZ disease or ABC syndrome? The answer is absolutely yes, it will, 100%. And we know this so unequivocally because we have 90 clinical studies that say what we're telling you is what is actually happening in the body. And then the next question is always followed up with, how long is it going to take me to get my issues resolved? We're going to tell you, we don't know the answer to that. Your body knows, and it may take time. We've seen as long as 23 months, Dr. John Harmon, his right branch bundle blockage in his heart, an incurable issue. His body repaired his heart in 23 months. But then we've got people that have seen results in 6 months, in 3 months, in a few days, in weeks, pain reduction, better night's sleep, more mental clarity, more mental focus. That's huge. It's huge with vascular support as well. So those are some of the important questions that people ask. One other thing I do want to mention is the importance of drinking water. You guys, water is so important in our cellular health. Our bodies are made up of mostly water. And especially when you're using this technology and activating those stem cells, getting all of those peptides going again, we want to make sure that the cells are pulling in the hydration that they need. Because we want those cells, when they are starting to communicate with other cells and systems in the body, we want them to be able to effectively communicate. So they need that conductivity to communicate with each other. And I know water is a big issue for a lot of people. I get that. But do your best to make it a goal to drink half of your body weight in ounces of a clean source of water daily. Now, that doesn't mean you can't still have your coffee or your cup of wine or your glass of wine, whatever else you drink that's not clear water. I just tell people, add more water. Add another 8 ounces for every cup of coffee that you drink, for every glass of wine that you have, because we want to make sure our cells, again, are pulling that moisture, pulling that hydration in so that they can do what they are supposed to do. And that's to keep us healthy, keep our immune system up. So with that, I want to just reiterate, I know that Susan dropped it in the chat, but if you are a guest with us joining for the first time, please drop your name in the chat with the name of the person that invited you, because at the end of the call, we're going to draw 4 patch samples of the X39, and I will get those in the mail to you guys this afternoon immediately so we can get this technology in your hands. So with that, Nancy, I know I'm going to call on you to share for just a couple minutes because we want to make sure we have time for the drawing and answer any questions that people have. Your experience with the X39 and how long you've been patching, girl.
I got it. I'm on my phone, so I had to find my unmute. I have been patching. Coming up on September 28th will be, Kimberly, if you can believe this, our 4-year anniversary with patching. And the beauty of patching for so long is that you never know what the next thing is going to be that your body is going to heal and repair. And I exited that. The most exciting things, and I'll just touch on 3 to give you an idea of the timeline, were pain, my thyroid, and my eyes. Kim didn't know this when she called me and said, I found this incredible technology. It's this little itty bitty bandage, like a Band-Aid, a patch you just put on. She had no idea that about a month prior, because I was hobbling around for a while with this pain, anytime I went up to bed at night, it was not just pain, it was stabbing pain right in my right knee. And I literally had to pull myself up the stair rail. And I said, get him to me fast. And as soon as I got him, I, patched my knee because you can put X39 anywhere. And 1 week passed, no change. Second week passed, no change. But the third week, I thought, well, my knee still is in pain, but here's my arm, my right torn rotator cuff had healed itself. And the stem cells are like little homing pigeons, and they'll go where they're needed most first. So they had put my shoulder at the top of my list. So I thought, well, this is wonderful, but what about my daggone knee? So it wasn't until the end of my third week that I stepped on that step to go up to bed. No pain. Next night, no pain, no pain, no pain, no pain. It's never come back. So that was pretty exciting because I thought, gee, does this mean I'm going to have a knee replacement? If it doesn't work. So it worked like a charm. The next thing was at about a year and a half mark. I had been diagnosed with Hashimoto's hypothyroidism about 25 years prior. And it kind of rocks your world when it happens, because the things that I was suffering from in terms of symptoms was just, I was very tired. I had brain fog. I gained weight like uncontrollably. I didn't change what I was eating, but I just started packing on the pounds. And no matter how much I exercised, it would not come. I also had heart palpitations, which was a little scary, where I was lying in bed at night and it would just go boom, 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 boom. And I thought, that's not good. And the other thing was that my cholesterol and triglycerides like skyrocketed through the roof. So at the year and a half mark, because you got to go in to get your Synthroid prescription filled every 6 months to get your blood work done. So my doctor called me and said, I just have to go over your blood work with you. This is phenomenal. Your cholesterol and your triglycerides are in the normal range. I said, oh my gosh, this is the first time, y'all, in 25 years that they were in the normal range. She said, but that's not the best news. I've got something even better. The Hashimoto's antibodies, she said, you don't have those anymore. So you no longer have your body attacking your thyroid, which was huge. And the cool thing is as long as I had thyroid, issues, I just thought, well, that's just my lot in life. I'm going to have to suffer. It's never really going to correct itself. I'm taking medication, but it's doing a little bit of good, but not a whole lot. I was still, like 30 pounds overweight. And this has like changed my life. I have started losing weight, y'all, without trying. Now I did give up sugar. So that's important because as you become a part of this community, you'll learn more. So the most wonderful surprise that was also just unexpected was one morning I stepped outside my front door to go on my morning walk. And I looked up at the stop sign and the street sign way across the street on the other side. I had been blind, literally, not literally, but wearing glasses or contacts since the fourth grade. And my world was a world of just blur. It was, as the eye doctor described, it's a very beautiful way to live. Everything's just kind of soft and you just don't see anything very clearly. I could read the street sign. I could see each individual brick on the neighbor's house across the street, right next to the street sign. And I could see the outline of leaves on the tree. Doesn't seem like a big deal to you, but at 60, that would have put me at 65-ish. My eyes were getting better, not worse. So not only can I see and read perfectly, I can now see distance. And I only wear my contacts if I'm driving at night. So those are my three huge wins over the last 4 years. And just don't give up. Consistency in wearing these patches is the key. Thank you so much for letting me share.
Thank you so much for coming on, Nancy. That's
Of course.
incredible. The eye thing, I just learned about that yesterday because that's totally new, right? New
It
for
is.
you, going on 4 years. Yeah. Yeah. So don't quit before the miracles come, because they will come. You just have to give your body time to repair and regenerate, because that's a process, right? We didn't wake up one day with Hashimoto's or eye issues. That's stuff that's happened over the course of the last 25, 30 years. So we want to be open to giving our body the time to heal and repair. Thank you again, girl. I appreciate you coming on. All right, Susan, I'm going to ask you to share briefly your testimony so that we can get questions answered and get this drawing done.
Yes, I know. We're getting a little close for time, so I'll make it a little quick here. But I struggled with autoimmune disorder and disease, underactive thyroid for about 25 years. And I tried everything. Conventional medicine just was not working for me. I still didn't have a wonderful quality of life. I had extreme fatigue. I was struggling sleeping, brain fog, irritable, a lot of mood swings with that, obviously. Dry skin, dry hair. I mean, if you want to Google what hypothyroidism and Hashimoto symptoms are, I pretty much had them all. So it was not a great quality of life, and I kind of just accepted it of what it was. But over the years, I tried so many different supplements and juices, waters, treatments, therapies that would help a little bit, but would not really get to the root cause. And I still struggled with a lot of those symptoms. I was living in a fight or flight, I felt like every day. I was struggling and just trying to survive and not thriving in our life. So over the years, I had tried everything. And so last year, I was always intrigued with something new to try again. I was introduced to these LifeWave patches. And I thought at this point, how simple. It's not another supplement I have to gobble down, but obviously, as Leo showed, it's just a simple patch about the size of a quarter. And so I did start wearing that last December. And I think my body just needed those cells communicating, like you mentioned earlier, Leah, the just starting that chain reaction of our body starting to wake up and go to work to repair. Because the first day I wore this patch for 12 hours during the day, and then as instructed, took it off at night. I slept through the night for the first time in 30 years. I had never had a good night's sleep. I didn't even know what it was like to go to sleep for 8 hours and not wake up. So that was wonderful. And of course, that right there had my attention. But I continued to patch because I really wanted to address my thyroid disease. And as I did, I noticed a couple weeks later, my energy started increasing in the afternoon. I wasn't having that afternoon slump and really kind of needing a nap or some caffeine. So that was phenomenal. And continued to patch and started to see, kind of like what Nancy was saying, I started, my brain fog went away after about a month. And we've been told, Leah, from the inventor, a month for every decade of age to really start to see full regeneration of our stem cells working. So I had expected to really give this 6 months since I was 55 years old, but I was starting to see just quality of life things changing, within weeks. So that was phenomenal. And just, I like to be active, play tennis, pickleball. My stamina, my recovery was just so much better. I wasn't achy. I didn't have all my achy joints. Everything started to just feel so much better. But my big aha moment, like Nancy said, we all have one here, was about 2.5 months after patching. I was anxious and wanted to go ahead and check my blood work. So I did. And that's when kind of the aha moment went off for me, where my doctor's like, "What are you doing? Your blood work is phenomenal. And it's actually so good. You need to stop taking your thyroid medicine." So that was really the aha moment when I knew everything was starting to heal and regenerate, especially that quickly for me. So quality of life completely changed. I mean, other things just got better and better, but due to time, I want us to get to giving some prizes away and some free options, free samples of this incredible technology in this patch. So, but quality of life is phenomenal, and I just can't even wait to see what else happens in years. So, thank you.
I love it. All right. So if anyone has any questions that they want to ask, please either raise your hand or unmute yourself, or if you want to drop it in the chat. And while people are doing that, Susan, if you want to go ahead and get our wheel up on the screen, that we can. Yes, Miss Eunice.
Oh, is she muted?
And you're muted.
You may need here. I just asked to unmute. See if you can click that button, Eunice. There you
Yes,
go.
There she
yes,
is.
yes. Good day, and thanks for sharing the information. My question is, my husband is 88 years old and he's diabetic. Could he use the patch?
Yes, ma'am. He absolutely can use the patch. And we
Mhm.
definitely will send you more information because there's a couple of patches that we would recommend that he start with, but it absolutely will help with the diabetes. A quick story that I remember hearing 4 years ago was a gentleman named Roberto. Roberto had been a diabetic and actually been on dialysis for 41 years. And after 12 weeks, he saw a
Wow.
massive change. He was able to actually urinate for the first time in 41 years. So we
Wow.
have so many testimonials and so many success stories on people
Mhm.
that suffer with diabetes. So yes, ma'am,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yes, yes. It's talk with your pain. Mhm. Yes, it's okay. My name is Eunice Allen, and I was
Uh-huh.
invited by my sister Lois Francois in Virginia.
Perfect. We've got your
Yes,
name on the wheel, Miss Eunice. I see it
yes.
for the free
Okay,
drawing. Thank you so
all right.
much.
And I want
Oh, oops, you accidentally got muted. Sorry, Eunice. I know Miss Laverne has a question too.
Yeah, hang tight for a second, Eunice, while we're trying to get you on mute. Actually, Laverne, do you want to ask your question? I think I just clicked to ask you to unmute, so you'd have to click that first. Oh, there you
Yes,
are.
I have a question. Does the patch interfere with medication if you're on medication for heart or any other ailment
yeah.
that you take a medication? Does the patch interfere with any medication that you may be on?
That is such a great question. It absolutely does not. There are zero contraindications in all of the clinical studies with any medication or supplementation or anything that you're doing. And the reason is that we are not putting anything into the body. We're just giving the body the ability to do what it's supposed to do. Whereas with medication, you're actually ingesting that, right? Or any kind of injections. That's a transdermal modality, but no contraindications with any of it. And then someone asked in the chat, I saw, where do you place the patches? Honestly, you can put them anywhere on your body. Your entire body's light. It does not matter. Now, each patch will come with a booklet that's going to give you some location options for the patch. And here's what the booklet will look like. And in the book, it shows a couple different options. So this is C7, the acupuncture point, and below the belly button, these are two major acupuncture points. Just know that these are the locations that the clinical study subjects used. But honestly, you can put that patch anywhere on your body because your entire body's light. If you've got some place that has pain, stick it on there.
Mhm.
Thank you for those questions, ladies. And I know you probably have many, many more, but we do want to kind of stay on time, and we definitely want to get your questions answered. Let's see, here's one. I have a bone spur on cervical 9. Would patching help? It absolutely will help with that. And again, there's a couple different patches that we would recommend, especially if it's painful. We have a patch that will relieve the pain immediately. But getting that X39 on and getting that body to start that healing and repair and regeneration mode. Absolutely. All right, let's do our drawing. We're going to draw
Okay.
three 5-day supplies of X39. And again, if your name is drawn, drop your address in the chat, or if you want to send it to the person that invited you, I'll make sure I get those in the mail this afternoon. So Miss Laverne, you won the first 5-day sample set of X39. I'll get that out in the mail this afternoon. All right, let's see who's next.
All right, let's spin the wheel.
Oh, Miss Eunice.
Yes, all right. Yay.
I will get your 5-day sample in the mail. And one of the things to keep in mind too, you guys, on these samples aren't intended to heal you, right? It's just 5 days. They are so you can feel them, see them, touch them, see how easy they are to use. Now, might you feel something in 5 days? You might, but just kind of keep that in mind. It's not an instant gratification like it is so many of us are used to in terms of taking a medication and our blood pressure lowers. It doesn't work that way. All right, let's draw for the next one.
We're gonna draw one more and then we'll have time to answer that last question Millicent.
Yes.
Millicent had, excuse me, pardon me. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, she was on there. Hold on. There we go. And last one. Travdell?
Trapdell. All right. Yay. You know what I'm going to do, Susan?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to send out a set to everyone. So Millicent will get them and Elena. You guys, I have 5 of them here. I'm going to get them all in the mail. So if you can drop your address in the chat, or if you want to private message Susan or myself, we'll stay on for just a couple minutes while you do that, or even get it back to the person that invited you, and we'll make sure that we get those in the mail. So I'm gonna get all of the guests today are gonna get a 5-day sample set of patches.
Yay! That's
all right, Miss Millicent. Let's see if we can get a couple more questions answered here, girl.
Yes, I just asked you to unmute, Millicent. So if you can hit the unmute button on there. Oh, there you go. Perfect. You're on.
I did not have a question. A call came in for me, and I was trying to tell the person I can't talk them, and that's why my hand went up. But my question was about the patch. Where do I put the patch? And you said we could put the patch anywhere on the body.
Yes, ma'am. Anywhere on the body. And believe it or not, you can even wear these on your clothes, you guys, because our light shines through our clothes, right? If I go out at night with my clothes on, you're going to still see my infrared light. You're still going to see that through night vision goggles. So, and that light signal will reflect right back through your clothes back into your body. But great question, Millicent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you getting these addresses? Susan?
Well, I was saying, I don't see what I am seeing. Yes.
Elena put hers in. Okay, perfect.
Elena. And if someone can't access into the chat, I do know who they were all invited from today. So I could reach out to all the people who invited their guests today, and I'm sure they could get us that as well.
And we want to make sure that our guests are not using the patches yet.
Yeah,
right. There's Millicent. There's Millicent's address. Take a picture of that.
I'm gonna take a picture of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, you guys. Well, we will wrap this up. Thank you so much for spending an extra 6 minutes on the call with us. Know that we're going to be doing 2 of these a week, not next week, because I'm actually traveling out to Las Vegas to do a big pain management 3-day event with a bunch of doctors to share this technology. But the following week, we're going to do 2 a week for the entire month of September. So it's a great place to bring people that you love and care about on to learn more about the technology and see if it's something that they want to embark upon in helping their bodies to start that regeneration of healing and repairing.
Wonderful, Leah. And just if anybody of our guests will be reaching out to send you your samples, but if you have any other questions following after we get off this call, just make sure to get back to the person who invited you and we will absolutely answer all your questions. Oh,
and I will also include in your packet with the free samples our health tracker so that you can start gauging yourself and read a little bit more about the history of the company, which I didn't get into, and as well as a patch summary sheet that talks about all of the patches and of course with instructions on how to use it. So with that, everyone have a fantastic evening and we hope that we'll see you back on one of our calls soon. Bye.
Bye.
Millicent, I'll call you.
Thank you.